And hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Kaz Has. My name is Kazvon, and this is Brandon Must Die. It is a game by Dr. Edmund Stent, Herbal Remedies and Video Games LLC. It's a clever name. It is currently on Kickstarter, and he's been passing around copies of the beta for people to test out, and more pressingly, to make YouTube videos of. So I decided to throw my hat into the ring and give it a shake, and give you my opinions of it. Yeah, let's just get into it. I've already put in about 4 or 5 hours into it. So here I am. I've got a pink and blue mitten and a gun. The first thing you'll notice is, hey, this looks a lot like The Binding of Isaac. And it does. You'd be correct. It is directly inspired by, as it says on the website. So I guess our opinions are going to have to be colored by, does this improve on the game it is cloning? Well, one of the problems in The Binding of Isaac is when you walk over an item that you don't want, you pick it up. In this, you have to hit E to pick up an item. So that's a good thing. That's a good change, I guess. As soon as you grab your first weapon from the crash site, you can continue. You'll see in the upper left-hand corner that you have a map, much like The Binding of Isaac and Smash TV and Zelda. So here we go. You'll notice the shooting starts out really slow, and honestly, I have not found an upgrade to make it go any quicker. Something else you'll notice is when I'm actively engaged with an enemy, it'll show me their hit point bar right away, which is nice. I like that. That's a pretty good improvement upon Binding of Isaac. And in Isaac, on the first floor, you always have an item room that's just open and available. In this, you start with a key and you have to open the item room, but that's basically the same means to... that's a means to the same end, you know? Alright, so what's this item? Look at that. When you hover over an item, you get to see what it is. So, this increases damage and increases bullet size and bullet speed, but not firing speed. Something else you'll realize is I have to reload. Over there in the corner, I have the gun icon, and after I fire 6 bullets, I automatically reload, but halfway through a clip I can also hit R to reload. Let's see, we'll just keep going here. There's also... ooh. See, these guys are basically equivalent to flies, except they're a lot more annoying. Normally they don't die in one hit, but I think because of that upgrade, this is going to be a lot easier for me. They usually take 2, and those dudes like to just lunge at you randomly, and they will hit you. And another thing I've noticed in this game is invincibility frames. I'm not saying that this game is hard, but it's actually, yeah, it's really hard the way it's set up right now. If you get mobbed by 3 enemies, you will die, because the invincibility frames that you have to escape, they're just not there. I don't know if that's exactly what the problem is, but that's just the way I see it from a player perspective. I'm not a game designer, so usually when a player points out something wrong, it's due to something completely unrelated being off. So that's just what I see. Man, this is so much easier now that I got that one upgrade. These are thorn bushes. They don't hurt you. I assume they might at some point. But generally these bushes are poop. Just like in Binding of Isaac. And the green door means it's a shop. And in the shop, everything is always outrageously expensive. You don't get a whole lot of money. So I've never actually been able to afford anything besides health kits or these crystals. The crystals are basically your item meter. If you are familiar with Isaac, you have a spacebar item. And that item will recharge every room you clear. You'll gain a little bit more on the meter, depending what item it is. Some items require you to clear 3 rooms, 4 rooms, 5 rooms to actually recharge the item. In this, you have to actually pick up crystals, and it's a consumable item at that point. You actually have to pick up an item to recharge your spacebar item. And then you can use it as much as you want in a room, as long as you don't go over your limit on the bar. So let's just go down to the boss room. That's what this big red door means. And we'll see if we get the good one. Nope. So I always have a real problem with this boss fight. Its bullets aren't so bad. But in this game, in Isaac, if you fire and move at the same time, your bullets angle. In this game, they do not. So I can't actually angle my bullets into him, I have to get right in his way, and see, he likes to lunge at you. So if you get in his way, and you're trying to fire at him, you have such short range, and such limited angle of attack, that if he just decides to lunge, yep, just knocks out 1/5 of my health. And actually, I think I got hit twice there, actually, and there, I'm dead. Once he's actually lunging at you, there's not a whole lot you can do. You are really, really slow. And even those basic enemies in the beginning, you're so slow they will just zip right at you and hit you. There's not a whole lot you can do. Another thing about Isaac is you start with 3 hearts, and this you start with 5 bars. In Isaac, how that worked was, on the first few floors, to make it a little bit easier and more manageable, you, enemies, when they hit you, they only took half a heart of health, so you actually had 6... You had effectively 6 hearts on the first few floors, and then you had the ability, or the opportunity, I should say, to gain health upgrades, and basically, or, you know, items that just made you so powerful that you would just tank damage anyway, just so you could, like, completely and absolutely obliterate everything. In this, the items are pretty lackluster. There's not anything that's too amazing. That gun upgrade is pretty good, but you saw it didn't really help me too much against that super weird, Hornet dude. And I think I just signed my own death warrant by blowing up that bush. Whoop. There we go. Oop. Ah, damn it. That's just me failing right there. Alright, I'm reloaded already. I always find myself tapping the R button. Oh, I hate these guys. So they throw a spear at you. And once again, it goes pretty quick. If you get too close to this guy, his spear comes out so fast that you just get hit. So you can't actually get close to him, or you will get a spear in the face. The room layouts so far are not that great. They're pretty drab. There's just random blocks. There's a few rooms here and there that are actually laid out pretty fun, but there's stuff like this where, yeah, the water slows you down, but in this room I think I fought that one monster, so there wasn't really a point to any of that. Like, it's not set up for... The room isn't laid out for the specific enemies, it doesn't feel like. It feels like they just kind of throw in whatever enemies with whatever abilities into whatever room. So it doesn't really make for any really interesting encounters. So this is the flame barrel, it's a weapon upgrade. I will randomly shoot flame bullets. And I like that my gun changes. It makes it look a little cooler. That was one of the things I liked about Isaac, is every upgrade you got, it changed your appearance in some way, and that's going on here too. Let's see if I can buy anything in the shop, shall we? Ooh, I could buy some... I could buy this, which is, frost resist cloak. But I'm gonna buy the grenades. Because this is one of my major gripes with this. Well, one of the gripes I have is... Alright. To change my direction, I actually have to fire with the cursor keys in that direction. So, I'm used to the Binding of Isaac, in which, if you wanted to throw a grenade, you would just move in the direction, hit, and you just basically walk over and drop a bomb, right? You drop a bomb at your feet and then shoot it over to where you want it to go. In this, you actually have to throw the grenade, which is not very accurate. If I wanted to throw a grenade behind me, say I'm facing this way, and I hit grenade, now it just drops at my feet. I know, it's kind of unruly, and I haven't really had a lot of chances to actually play around with it, because they barely ever drop. The grenades, I should say, barely ever drop. Money doesn't drop that much. And maybe it's just because I'm in the beginning stage of the game and I can't actually get further than the 3rd stage. But it's really quite difficult for seemingly no reason. And I think these flame bullets are to wreck this guy. I don't know, maybe I finally got the OP weapon that I need to get further in this game. Hey, unlocked a new item. That's the first time I've actually unlocked anything. So that's the thing. And when you beat a boss, you get an item. This is faster reload and fire rate. It's a gauntlet upgrade, so my arms are different colored now. I don't think it upgrades any further than this. So, yeah, let's just go on. So I can nitpick all these things, but keep in mind this game is in beta. Nothing that I've mentioned too much can't be adjusted. I don't even know what she's all about, but I just murdered her for no reason. See, like, even running straight back, you can't get out of the way, and if you try and dodge left and right... there we go. Every once in a while you get a critical hit. I kind of like that. I kind of would rather that be an item, though, and you just have higher base damage instead of relying on crits. What are you doing? What are you doing over there? Come here. You just fire so slow. I don't feel powerful at all. I mean, I guess the point is you're supposed to get more powerful as the game progresses, but I just never get that god tier run where I feel like I can smash things. That's where Isaac really felt really good, was you get really powerful and you get items that would help you out a lot in the early stages. I'm gonna die here, aren't I? Yep, got spear in the face. You gotta stay really far away from these guys. But you get items in the early game that made you feel really good, really powerful, and then you would hit a level or two further down and it would be all for naught. Like, you're just barely staying alive, unless you're super, really skilled in that game. I only have like 120 hours in Isaac, so I'm nowhere near god tier. I'm gonna die here, aren't I? Alright, that's a spear in the face. So one of the things that... One of the weird things is that if you're gonna make a clone of a game like The Binding of Isaac, you really do need to have improvements. The reloading mechanic, I don't think that's an improvement. I think that's just a style thing. You just wanted to throw it in there to be different. Don't do that. It's dumb. I don't like it. It makes you shoot even slower, and you already shoot so damn slow. What else is there? The resolution of the game runs in the same resolution as The Binding of Isaac. I mean, that was a design... That game was a Game Jam game that then they upgraded, you know, they gave a few updates and stuff, but it was a Game Jam game. You can do better than that. You can just make it, like, able to be run at 1080. Why not? Or at least at a 16:9 resolution. But that's more of a complaint from someone who makes videos of games, I guess. What else is there? I don't know, I just feel like the whole item drop situation is not very balanced out. There's not a whole lot of interesting items that I've seen yet. I mean, yeah, flame bullets are cool, but they don't make a big enough difference for me to feel like it's not flashy enough. Nothing like really sticks out as being amazing. Everything just seems kind of bland, and that really is kind of disappointing. Like the joys of a game like Isaac, in that style of game, is that you start out, or any roguelike really, is that you get a bunch of crazy items, you don't know what they're gonna do, so you roll the dice and gamble. Sometimes the items are just, you're lucky and the item you get is just astoundingly good. And then sometimes you just get screwed and the item is horrible. But most of the time what happens is that it's a trade-off. You like gain more health but do less damage, or gain more damage and have less health. Maybe get life leech but shoot slower. You know, it's something that makes every run different. And so far, every run, I've gotten different items, but they've all felt very, very much the same. And that's a problem. That's a real problem, because that's not really capturing what a game like Isaac's all about, which is every run is weird and different and strange, and you kind of have to adapt to each situation. And I know this is a different game, and you shouldn't really make comparisons, but the designer did it himself. He said it's inspired by, it is obviously inspired by, it uses a lot of the same design cues from the HUD to, you know, keys, money, bombs, the health system. It's just, it's hard to not make that comparison, and so I'm gonna do it. So, if you hate me for it, sorry. It just feels, my character just feels so slow, and I don't know, you'd think she'd have a machine gun, not a 6-shooter, you know? I have an normally I only have 6 bullets. I have an extended mag, so at least I can shoot some bullets. This boss is at least pretty easy. Hey, I unlocked slime ammo, again. So this game is available. I think it's available on the designer's website. They sell the beta on Indie Stand for like 10 bucks. I don't know what game colors are. I've gotten this before. They sell the game for 10 bucks for basically early access, but not Steam early access. It's just through his own website. They also have a Kickstarter going on, and I think the game is $9 there if you back for 9 bucks. I'm not one to really ever... I know, I just started my channel. I'm debating whether or not I should promote Kickstarters at all, because I don't want to be in that situation where someone's like, hey man, you recommended this Kickstarter and then it failed and the game was horrible and all this. I don't really want to be responsible for that kind of stuff, but I just want to make you aware is that if you really dig this for whatever reason, you can throw your money at it. But for me right now, this is, it's got potential, but it's not really, there's not enough variety for me. And who knows, maybe there's crazy stuff that happens later. There's 8 stages in the game so far. The Kickstarter is to pay for audio upgrades and add 4 more stages. I've never beaten this guy either. So this is the 3rd boss I've ever seen. See, just every enemy seems to just want to lunge at you. It's like, yeah, we get it. We're really freaking slow. So the game becomes more about being in the right position. But more often than not, you're in the wrong position. And maybe it's just me. I'm not good at reading the telegraphed message like, oh, he's doing this particular stance, so he's about to do this move. I've never really been good at that. So yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about this game. I'm really excited to see where it goes. I hope it improves, because it is something I'm interested in as someone who plays a lot of Isaac. I do want to see new ideas brought in, because Rebirth is just going to add more items. So if you could bring different actual gameplay mechanics, more items, more interesting items, it needs to feel better. I don't know, just the feel of it is off. Maybe it's just because it doesn't control the same way. I'm not entirely sure. That's really all I gotta say about it. Who knows? If I get a lot further and it ends up being something completely different, something unexpected, I will definitely make an update video, but for now, not really doing it for me. And I think that'll be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to check out this game, or its Kickstarter, or its developer website, I will leave a link in the description below, but for now, see you next time.